Well, that was 5 minutes, 5 seconds too late.
I know.
Almost got him to say it.
We need that
Hey,
Cody B reference.
I was telling David when we talk about the single shot racks, let's do it more like a three-person discussion. It's like you guys spit out just any information that you want. We're going to make it thorough. Good?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Season opener, David.
Season opener.
Season opener.
Well, we
made
have Mr. Tong Po Pyro. His internet's not that good. We're trying to keep him anonymous. Just one of the 2 or 3 different excuses as to why his screen is black.
Pyro witness protection.
Everyone knows I don't show my face.
The Ho never shows his face.
We have a nice picture though to put there for him instead.
Yeah.
So looks just like him.
Just like him.
Just like him, yeah.
Only the lucky few get to know what I look like.
His spandex and Speedo.
I think the burning question that everybody wants to know is how many white guys have you beat up?
I retired from that.
He said, I retired.
Oh, man.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah. I'm excited to get back into this again.
Oh, this is going to be awesome.
I mean, we got a grueling 6 weeks coming up, but
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be great.
Fun.
Yeah.
That's the season? 6 weeks?
No.
No.
Yep. 20 weeks. 20 weeks.
But next 6 weeks we're recording like half the season, so.
Yeah.
Oh. I was about to say, you mean 6 weeks to CobraCon? Or is it longer than that?
Yeah, it's like, I think I just talked to Jonathan today. I think it's 78 days from today, which is the day the day we're recording, which is, it's moving along.
Moving along.
Yeah.
Well.
Then, what, like 4 weeks you'll be here and we're still going to be recording?
Still going to be recording, yeah.
Still recording at my house?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a good time. Come up there, be able to hang out with you guys for a little bit and do some CobraCon prep.
Yeah, I just finalized the order today, printed it out, and had to rush out the door. Otherwise, I would have taken the order to the back. So that much closer.
Yeah, I picked up our secret weapons today. So
did you?
I get those in the truck. So I'll get those figured out. We'll get them shipped to you.
All right. Yeah, I get a weight figured out. I'll get a label and.
Yeah. Let's see if I can flatten them out a little bit, but.
Yeah. How many panels is it?
24.
24.
Each one.
All right. So 12 per. Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well.
All right. Let's get this episode going.
Let's get this episode going. We'll hit the intro and go from there.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Pyro Unleashed. Tune in weekly as Donnie and David discuss all things pyro, from the business aspect of the industry to technical tips and mesmerizing pyro designs. On Pyro Unleashed, we invite cutting-edge experts to the podcast to discuss their role in making this industry a success. So, sit back and unleash your inner pyro with us.
All right, well, there it is.
There we go.
Again,
Season 3?
Season 3. We're being sponsored by Cobra. So,
like we mentioned, CobraCon coming up.
CobraCon's coming up. Ellery, you're going?
Yep. And initially, I had put my name in the hat for that Pro-Am.
Did you?
Yeah, but when Black Friday came around, I was like, well, if I do get selected, it's like, maybe all that money I would use into that show, maybe I should just buy mods, because I wasn't planning on buying Black Friday mods.
Yeah.
So then I emailed Jonathan. I was like, take me out of that pool. I don't want to get picked. So instead, I bought mods.
I mean, sure. I mean, I get it. I mean, it's a catch-22, right? Do you burn up money, or do you build your arsenal for burning up more money later on?
And I'll do what I always do. Usually when I go to CobraCon, I'm always helping on shows, so I'll be helping your show.
Yeah, I think the current plan. I think you're gonna. I don't know. We're still working all the details. This is probably stuff, whatever. But I think so we're doing the Dominator Anthem on Saturday night, and the schedule is up. I don't know if anybody they've made it public, but it is up. Did talk to Jonathan. It is on their website today. Nice surprise for Friday night's closer. Really excited to see that show. Um, and then yeah, obviously Donnie and I are doing the closer. So I think Ellery, we're probably gonna have you help James with the anthem at first, and then we'll move you over to the closer. We've been thinking about how to make the anthem quicker for setup, so we might actually like have it done and just put them on skids, and then we'll just take the skid loader and drop out all 7 positions. And I don't know. We're still working out those fine details, but yeah.
And
more to come
hopefully
on
it
that.
don't rain. Hopefully it don't rain.
Keep that word out of your mouth.
Yeah, even I think I talked to Jonathan for like an hour today, and even I think he said it like 4 or 5 times. I'm like, the more we talk about it, the more chance it's gonna rain,
Right.
bud. But yeah, 18R3 sounds like
It's like you're getting close.
it's getting close. I want to see
getting
it. I
close.
want to touch it. I want to use it.
Yeah, I know. We were hoping to be able to have them, I think, for CobraCon, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to probably get enough time with them to be able to use them for CobraCon. Probably.
Yeah. We'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah.
Hoping for the best. So we'll see how that goes.
Yep.
And then, go ahead.
And then our other, one of our new sponsors this year, Finale. Finale 3D is the world's most powerful fireworks, FXX design software. Finale 3D is built for the real world, whether you're working with pyrotechnics or DMX special effects. Automatic scripting, sequencing, and addressing features get you ready for showtime in no time.
Showtime in no time.
I know you and I, we both use Finale.
We do use Finale.
So
Been
it's
sharing
super
the
helpful.
goo-
I mean, it's super helpful. I couldn't imagine doing it the way that Ellery does it sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get
I-
into that later. That's craziness.
Yeah.
But yeah, super excited to have Finale on board with us this year, and
Yeah.
we have some surprise stuff still coming from Finale as we kind of progress ahead a little bit in a few episodes that we'll be talking about. But yeah, definitely excited to be able to partner with them this year and do really some exclusive stuff with them. So
Yeah. Exciting
So-
things in the works. I like.
yeah,
Yeah. It's probably one of the most favorite things that we're going to be doing, in my opinion.
yeah, absolutely.
Today on the show.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Definitely
we'll
cool
stop
to
talking
build,
about it
to build a
before we
collab with them. Yep.
spread
So our
too
guest.
much.
So who's this guest we got here tonight?
All right, we have Mr. Ellery Ho, better known
Yep.
on the famous YouTube as Tong Po Pyro. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. Cold.
Cold, solid
Yeah,
negative
it's like
5 degrees here
it's
today.
like, oh yeah. I mean, it
Yep.
was 0 degrees. I think a couple hours ago, and I think it's
Yeah,
supposed to drop more.
yeah.
I know it was record cold here this morning.
I was gonna say, I think you just posted
negative
that,
9.
negative 9.
Negative 9 was our record cold this morning. So
My
Oh,
buddy
no.
in Minnesota texted me and said it was negative 22 this morning, where he lives.
yeah,
I was like, yeah, that's a negative. That's too much.
I was telling David before we started recording, I was watching some of the YouTube streams of down by Florida, all that snow they're getting right now.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
think it's 6 inches on
oh,
Panama
it's
Beach or something like that.
6 to 8 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
It's gonna be
And-
funny because I'm literally gonna be there in like 4 days. Down in Miami.
Yeah, you know there's people down there probably, escaping the winter.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh,
They're
absolutely,
like,
yeah.
we
What
came here
the
to get
heck
away
is
from
this?"
this crap. Well, let's kick this off, Ellery. How did you get into fireworks? I guess let's kind of go there and.
Well,
Eh.
I've always just like it's the same story as everybody. You're
Yeah.
a kid like fireworks, but 2014 somewhere around there is when I got Cobra. I started off with Chinese systems.
Yeah,
But yeah, I ended up getting a Cobra really quick because I wanted to do pyro musicals.
for sure.
And I kind of, there was a group buy, and so I got connected with a local display company here in town. So that's what escalated it real quick.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, for sure.
and, oh, later on you'll see when we start talking about the main subject. It's like where I got my stuff, so.
Okay, so I mean, let's talk about some shows that you've done that people
Yeah,
might
basically,
know you better from.
This past year was I usually only do one show a year or something like that. So
Yeah.
last year I did the PGI Class C Unlimited
Yeah,
in Brainerd. That was my second time doing a PGI show. The year before that was the large. And listening to Howder's show that he did with you guys,
yeah,
I think he confused it. In the large, he said Scott Shue beat him that year. It was actually me that beat him.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
gotcha.
but yeah, so I did the Unlimited, and that was pretty fun. But it was a little challenging because before we went to Brainerd, you and me, we looked at the Google Maps and got all pumped because it looked like it was just wide open space. We could do
Yeah.
whatever we want. And then, of course, when we get there, it's not as wide open as we had thought. There's dirt roads you had to dodge, swamps you had to dodge. There was
Yeah.
a power line you had to dodge. So, and you couldn't tell like how to center your lane. Like, do you want to center it towards the crowd or the judges table? And
Exactly.
yeah, and it was weird because every team, like their lane they weren't all the same directions. One was going
Right.
this way, ours was going that way. So it was like, who's gonna look good once the show comes?
Right.
It's like,
There was a
So-
lot that was judged, I think, off of the Sunday night shows and how everybody else set up their shows. Yeah.
yeah, like my show and my competitor was John Hansen, who's one of the Cobra Con competitors for
Yep.
this year.
Yep.
But if you watch the videos, his was centered to the crowd because you'll
Yeah.
see and mine was centered to the judges' table.
Yeah.
So it's like, which one was better? I don't know which. Do you set it to the crowd or the judges' table? So
Well, and I think a lot of that too depends. Like, obviously, you were doing a competition, and
yeah.
so
And
yeah, sure, you're going to want to center it towards them.
And for one, I didn't really know. I mean, it was hard to look at the crowd. I mean, where the judges' table and crowd was going to be. It was hard to tell
Yeah.
how you're aligned.
Yeah.
But
And obviously, too, the crowd spreads out super wide, right? So somebody in the crowd's going to be center at some point, but you're gonna have everybody else is going to be off center. So you can't necessarily center it for everybody.
yeah, and then that show, a lot of you guys know I complained a lot because of one of my positions had 2 Pyrolama racks and they were both flipped around.
Yeah.
So I know a way I'm going to correct it so it'll
Yep, I was
never
just about
happen
to ask you
again.
about that, yeah.
Usually, everything I had in my show, I would put a piece of tape on the front side of everything. Whether it was my Pyrolamas, I would pick a front tube, put a piece of tape in right front. I did that with slices, cakes, everything. But guess what happens? When you put everything together, you're butting everything up against each other.
Yeah.
So now you can't see the frickin' labels.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do now is everything on top is going to get a piece of green tape with an arrow.
Oh,
That
yeah,
way
yeah,
when
that
you-
makes sense.
When you butt things up against each other, you can still see it.
Yeah.
So all arrows will be pointing towards the crowd. So
You know, if you use Finale 3D, it would tell you the front. It would tell you the direction.
what are you talking?
No,
Well, yeah,
I know why
that
you
was-
do what you do.
That was a huge mistake because you guys noticed some of the obvious things where you're like, oh, his rack is backwards, but there were a lot of less obvious ones. Like some of my Pyrolama racks, I basically made a sweep. So it looked fine to you guys, but the way I scripted it, it was supposed to go the opposite direction. So it completely changed. So as soon as the show started, I pretty much knew it was backwards, but none of you guys really knew until later, till the more obvious parts.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sucked.
Well, I mean, you know, even though you had some backwards positions, right? I mean, you still won that series of competition. So
Yeah, well, you only have one competitor.
well, fair enough.
Which is the thing is, I don't know how many competitors would they allow, like maximum wise, because
So, and I know
from-
we've talked about this, and it's come up in Discord. So I text Craig and I asked him.
I talked to you about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we talked about it
'Cause-
too, and he said we're just gonna send it. We're just gonna do show after show after
Yeah,
show
'cause
until
look,
they're done.
I don't think PGI has ever had a limit to competitors in the Class C show because they struggled to get competitors.
Right.
I mean, a lot of times people didn't even pre-register. They would just show up at PGI and say,
With the
"Hey,
show ready to
can
go,
I do a show?" Or so sometimes you have no idea who a competitor is even going to be.
Right.
But just from hearing people and past competitors and people that want to do it, it seems like there's going to be a lot this year. So
Yeah. How many people from KCAP are doing a show, Donnie?
I'm not sure. For I know there's a lot of interest from
Yeah.
several people, so I expect there to be potentially 2 or 3 shows
Two
up
or
there. I
three?
mean, it's
yeah, and I've talked to some regulars that have done shows there, and they seem interested in doing it again. So
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully it'll be a full episode or a full stock of people. That'd be awesome.
yeah.
yeah, and that Wednesday it's a non-public night. So
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and honestly,
that-
I think the amount and the level of shows that they're going to have, I don't think they would have any problem getting people in the door to come and watch those shows. I think they could still make the money doing it. I think a lot of it really actually boils down to more about volunteers and needing that help than anything else. To be honest with you.
I hear this might be a struggle since they.
Yeah.
They
I
don't
mean, yeah.
have-
If you look at the site this year, right? Like it's more of a rental, right? The site doesn't have employees to help out and say that. So there's a lot more pressure, I think, on PGI this year, and so.
A lot, yeah.
I would imagine that might have led a little bit to maybe just 2 public nights, just because PGI is responsible for end to end of all
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah, has anybody looked up where hotels are? Have you looked up Ellery? Okay. Yeah, I don't know exactly how far away the hotels are because I know it is like PGI this year is in the middle of nowhere.
Well, see,
So-
we always get Airbnbs now, so it's like
Right. Yeah, and I know, we'll more than likely look into an Airbnb, so that'll be nothing, but yeah, so it's going to be interesting. So yeah, let's talk about a little bit more about some other shows you've done. I mean, obviously,
I remember Sky Wars, right? Isn't there a
Sky Wars?
Yeah,
Sky
I
Wars
did,
show in there
did
somewhere?
a couple Sky Wars.
a couple Sky Wars shows.
The first Sky Wars was that Pro-Am, and I guess I didn't know the rules
Yeah.
because I looked at a previous year's rules, and I went into that show thinking the maximum E-matches you could use was 500.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so I was over. I knew scripting wise, I was like maybe 800-ish or something.
Yeah.
So I told everybody, just DQ me automatically. It was like, I know I'm going to be over.
Yeah.
But I guess 500 wasn't the max because, later on I learned Scott was, over 1,000
Wow.
E-matches. It was like, if I knew I had freedom to go even higher, then I would have done better stuff. It's like I felt very limited and hand-tied that first outing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, and then I did the unlimited, where
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
Yeah.
but
So you did the unlimited,
But-
and then.
but now the shows have gotten so big, like it makes those two shows that I did look so small. And I don't think I'd ever do another Sky Wars again because I think I have a limit to how big a big of a show I'm willing to do.
Yeah.
As far as the effort, time, and, it's like, that's just too much. I mean, it's cool because, there's a lot of people that want to do shows that big, so it gives them
Right.
an opportunity. But, yeah, I have limits.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I know you don't really want to touch on it much, but obviously you did the whole Pure Imagination at CobraCon.
Yeah, I get sick and tired of hearing about that.
Well, it was. I know it was one of Cobra's favorites. It was one of my favorites that I've ever seen you do, and I mean, just it's. I think is it one of the most watched shows on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I think it has like 13,000 views
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
Nice. Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, and obviously we'll put a link to your YouTube channel here in the description, so people can subscribe and follow. So when you post videos, they'll be able to see them within minutes of the show going off.
Yeah,
that's
back to PGI.
yeah.
For Boone, I think we know Craig has the Pro-Am on Friday,
Yeah.
and we have no idea who he's going to choose or how he's going to choose.
Right.
But yeah, I've let you know that if I got selected, that'd be a decision I'd have to make. Do I do that or do I do the Class C Unlimited?
Right.
And I told you that even if I got offered that, I'd possibly turn it down. Even though
Yeah.
you get a budget, just because logistically, I told you I'd rather do a show midweek, be done with it,
Right. Then
and I can have my trailer packed and ready to go home instead of having to do a show last night.
Yeah.
And then, as lots of us do, we pull our mods the end of show and then we wait till the next day to do the complete cleanup. So if I did it that way, that means I'd go back there Saturday morning instead of hitting the road and going back home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd
Yeah.
have
Most
to.
definitely.
Otherwise, I'd have to do the teardown all
All night.
Friday, all
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so there is a catch-22 to doing the bigger show or the
that's why,
competition.
like I said, even though you'd get a budget, I would possibly still turn it down.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean I get it. Yeah, it's a valid reason. So,
Well,
and then obviously, yeah, we'll talk a little bit about shows you have coming up. Obviously, you have PGI, right? So,
Basically, the winter time,
Yeah.
the off season, I've kind of kept myself pretty busy.
oh yeah,
Pyro wise. I mean, we've had some winter shows. I've helped you guys with your rooftop show,
Yep.
that hockey show.
yeah.
We have another rooftop show in a couple weeks.
Couple weeks coming up. Yeah,
And then, so also in this off season, I've picked the music for my PGI Class C show.
yeah, yeah.
I've scripted it completely.
Yep. Twice.
I've had. What do you mean twice?
You scripted it twice.
No, I did not.
And we'll have the link to that, right, David? We'll have
Yeah,
a link
we
to
have
that.
the link to that.
We'll have the link to the sim. We'll have the link to the sim later.
We'll talk about that. And of course, after done scripting, there's a long tinkering phase. You keep tinkering it, and then I finally, a couple weeks ago, I got to the point where I actually printed labels.
Yep.
And you guys, people are probably like, the show ain't even till August. Yeah, and all the product I've acquired already. I mean, the last month or two, the last remaining product I needed for the show, like I had most of it in hand. But yeah, I saw you guys and went down to Casabella. And so now I have basically 100% of the product for a show that's not even till August.
But I mean,
Oh.
yeah, sure. I mean, but then once April hits, it's demo season, it's
Yeah.
Cobra
Oh,
Con,
yeah,
and then May hits, and then fireworks season. It's here,
Well-
so you got to get it done early.
And
earlier on.
my racks, like my Pyro Llama racks,
Yeah,
the only time I ever use them is my shows.
right.
So I could go ahead and start loading them up.
Yeah.
This far ahead. When you look at some of the Skywars people, they probably have a bunch of stuff that's already loaded that's going to sit around for a whole year. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, I mean a lot of them prepped and it's just sitting around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, why not? If I got all my stuff, because some of you guys don't realize when you have a crew that's prepping a show. I mean, unless you're doing it by yourself like I do, you have no idea how much how much work is into that show. When you're responsible doing matching everything, labeling everything, doing every single thing.
Right.
Yeah. Because I'm at that point where I'm like, holy crap, this is a lot of work.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I get really reminded, especially like I said, when you do it all yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've moved along pretty good. Oh, and here's a lot of people ask me usually, do you still use Cobra Show Creator to do your scripting? So yes, this show, I scripted it with Cobra Show Creator.
Yep.
And I didn't use FWSim until...
You were done.
Because, I found out, I tried to put an audio track into FWSim, and for some reason I couldn't get it to work. So I was like, did FWSim remove audio capability for that basic version that I had? That's what I had assumed.
Yeah.
So a week or two ago, I monkeyed around with it, and I was like, oh, I just forgot how to put in the audio track. So I was like, oh, well, now I'll go ahead and try to make a sim of the show, which I pretty much did. I got most of it in there, and I showed it to David, so David's seen the show.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, there's scenes that I'm sure we'll probably start diving into. However much you want to talk about with that.
Yeah. Here's the thing. When you guys do competition shows, how secretive are you of those shows? I mean, how much are you willing to give up? Because knowing that anything you give up could be an advantage to your competitor.
That's true, yeah.
Do you like to keep it 100% secretive or what?
I don't always keep it 100% a secret. Sometimes I think even for Skywars, Donnie, we kind of. I mean, I was even asking like, "Hey, what are you doing? Are you doing towers?" Like, I want to know. I think I even asked Tim. Trying to sneak out a little information, and sure, yeah. I mean, it's a catch-22, right? But I mean, at the same time, if you're Ellery Ho, you don't have to worry about people, beating you. So.
Yeah. Well, see, that's another reason I would probably do the Class C instead of the Pro-Am if I got offered, because, I've gotten first place the last 2 years. So it's like, might as well keep that streak going. So, especially since we may have more competitors this year, maybe even funner,
Yeah.
But
most definitely.
Could be exciting.
Yeah.
But this is also something I've also thought of is when you have a reputation of like people know what your shows are like, it's like I find it a little stressful because you don't want to do like just an average show because they got higher expectations. I mean, do you guys ever feel that? Like, oh, I can't just dial it in because, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like it's like your next show has to be as good or better.
Or better.
It's like
yeah.
Because otherwise, because people already have an expectation.
Well, it's like doing like a city show, right? I mean, even dumbing it down to that, like you get a new city show, like how good do you want to start it out? Because as soon as you do something at a certain level, the next time you do it, sure, you have to do it better. You have to do something. You have to pull a new trick out of your hat, right?
Yeah.
So it's, yes, you want to impress them that first time, but how much further do you want to go?
Yeah, but for you, it's a little different because when you're doing shows for RKM, it's like it's a business.
Yeah.
So your pyro musicals would be kind of dumbed down because you're doing it budgeted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You're
true.
doing it with less product. It's a business for you.
Yeah.
So for me as a hobbyist, yeah, it's a little pressure because, like I said, it's like I don't want to make a show and then they're like, "What's this?
Yeah.
This
That makes
wasn't
sense.
as good as his last year's show."
Yeah, I'm the same way, right? Like, I mean, your shows all have to be, each show you do has to be better than the one you did before, and you feel like you're under that pressure to do a show that's equally as good as the one you just did, especially when, like I've been, in the club that I made at KCAP, everybody is, scripting these crazy shows, and so
Yeah.
you don't want to be the guy that shows up with a show that doesn't go or half goes or looks sloppy, right? You really put that pressure on yourself to make your show look as clean and as good as you can, and
I mean, but if you're always sloppy, then they don't care because they know that's what they think. Yeah.
you just become that guy.
It's like, well, that's what he does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, but for me, it's like I don't really. People know that I don't really care about the winning part, but yeah, it's I want to do as least as good as I normally do,
Yeah.
and try to do something different because I can give away some stuff I'm doing in my show.
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
You want me to reveal?
Yeah, let's go. I
Yeah,
wanna hear
as
it.
far as being secretive, like I said, I don't really care about winning, so if I give up stuff, I don't care. Well, as for music, maybe I won't give the names of the songs, but I'll give
Yeah,
the
let's keep
artist.
those a secret.
I won't give the songs, but I'll give the artist.
All right.
It's kind of an embarrassing artist.
No.
I don't know. It could be more embarrassing than Taylor Swift.
Guy.
Man, what?
I'm doing songs by Justin Bieber. But I'm not going to reveal which songs they are.
All right.
And I'm doing something. I'm trying to do some things that some people will probably have never ever seen before.
I bet they've seen it. They've never seen it in person.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're right. There are
And
things
I-
that they've never seen. You're right.
And I may, I'll just go ahead and say what it is. One of the,
Can't keep a secret.
Here we
I was
go.
a little nervous about telling David whether I should say it or not because I don't want someone else to do it before me. But I think that I'm pretty comfortable no one else is going
Once
to
everybody
try it.
knows, I can put it in the script now.
Yeah, we can put a Cobra Con that, can't we?
There's this video from Malta. I'm sure most pyros have seen it. It's that 3D looking upside down house. And I was just on your Discord the other day and everyone said it was a diamond, but if you look at it, it's not a two-pointed figure. They do a cube and then they do the point. So it's shaped as a house. So I call it a house, and they have it upside down.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the first time I've seen a 3D object shot in the air like that. Everything else has normally been 2D.
Yep.
So the first time I saw it, I was like, holy smokes. Anytime you see something for the first time.
Yeah.
But also, as soon as I saw it, I knew how to shoot it. I was like, I don't know how Malta shot it, but I knew exactly how I would shoot it.
Right. Right.
So, but it's going to be a scaled down version of it, because if you watch their video, it's a gazillion meteors to make.
Do you
that
think
up.
they use 3-inch meteors for theirs?
I have no clue.
Because if you watch that, it goes and it just keeps going up.
It really goes up.
They go high.
Yeah. So I guess that would be my question is like, okay, well, if that's what they're doing, then maybe they can do crazier effects. They can do, especially with, obviously you all know I try to recreate the pyro tornado or whatever they want to call it over there, and Yeah, sure. I think it turned out as good as any other one that I've ever seen. You know, and I'm not bragging on myself. I feel like that's how it went, and you know, but it was not as good as theirs. And I really have to think about the fact that maybe it's because they're using bigger meteors.
Yeah, and maybe here's the thing. I obviously mine's not going to look as good because I'm going to be using way less meteors.
Yeah.
And I think the consistency of the peak height of the meteors is what's key to making the figure look good
Yeah,
instead of messy and sloppy. So I only have what I have to work with. So
Yeah.
how good is the consistency of my product? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not going to do a test run. I'm just going to do it there. So whether it works or not, I'm not promising it's going to work, but I made a sim for it. David's seen it. It looks pretty
It
good.
looks good. I think it'll work.
My key is if it's sloppy looking, as long as it looks like a 3-dimensional object that people can tell,
Yeah.
I think it's going to blow their minds.
And I think the potential for wind could make or break it. You know, sometimes, sure, we can blame the product, but sometimes it's just Mother Nature that it messes with the effect too. So there's nothing you can do about that either.
Yeah, so it's gonna it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. And then I'm doing something that I haven't seen anyone do before.
Yep.
And it's basically the night that me and David, we did a test run of his tornado at Rowdy's house.
Yep.
I posted a video of me doing a tornado thing off my letter rack. And it worked out pretty good. It was 1 revolution.
Yep.
But in this show, I'm going to do 2 revolutions and then do it twice in the show.
Yep.
And I'm going to use color-tipped comets so that way you can actually see the outline of the circular top of the tornado.
Yep.
It's kind of like how Nate did his heart thing. The reason you could see the outline of the heart is because he used color-tipped comets.
Right.
Because in my PGI show that I did at Brainerd, you know, you guys ought to see, I posted it on Facebook that I made something very similar to his heart thing. It wasn't as good. I used way less comets, but I was like, boy, if I used color tip comets, mine would have looked almost like a heart too. So, yeah, so that's the thing with using the color tip comets is I might be able to... What are you laughing? Why is this fool laughing?
It's not you. Well, I mean, it is you.
What?
There's some chatter in Discord right now.
What? Why? What are they eavesdropping?
No, nobody's listening. It's hilarious though.
Why? What are
They
they
wanted us to
talking
ask
about?
you the question that you asked yesterday in
In
Discord.
Discord.
Question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Oh,
asked.
no. That was just a joke. Okay.
Man.
Yeah, but like I said, that there's actually a video of that little tornado thing, because David's vortex was shot from multiple positions in a
Correct,
circular pattern, where mine's being shot from one
one.
single position.
Yep.
So that'll be different. And like I said, I've never seen anyone do it before. And then there's another thing, a run that I haven't seen anyone do before. And I'm going to put that at the end of the show. But it's such a simple run that I'm very surprised no one's ever done it before. And I hope no one does it before I do it, because it's so simple. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that run in person.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've seen, like I said, you know, I've seen the
Yeah.
sim, but it's going to be pretty sweet.
Here's
I'm
the
really
thing,
looking forward
I've
to it.
showed that sim to multiple people. So if I ever see someone do it before my show,
Here we
I'm
go.
going to have to cut them off. See, that's kind of the
You'll have to
scary part
knock
about
'em out.
sharing
Knock 'em out.
information.
Tong Po style.
They may stab you in the back.
All right.
Well,
So, I guess let's get to the main topic as to why you're here. So, I guess you've already started to talk about it, but what single shot racks do you use and why?
yeah, that's basically what we wanted this subject to be of this
Correct.
episode.
Yeah.
Was pros and cons of the different single shot racks.
Yeah. Yep.
And the main reason I think you guys brought me on is because I own Pyro Llamas, which
Correct, yeah.
a lot of people do not use. You don't have many Pyro Llama users. And the reason I got them was not because I preferred them over the Craigco style.
Yeah.
It was because the guy I was helping with here in town, he had a display company, and that's what he used.
Yeah.
And he was closing down, so he gave me a good deal on about, I think, 7-9 arch racks.
Nice. So the old
So
style, the ones that really.
the main, and it was a good price, so I was like, yeah, I'll take them. Not like I said, not for having any preference at the time.
Right.
At that time, I've had experience using Craigco styles, Craigco racks, and the Pyro Llamas, and
Yep.
they both got the job done. So yeah, that's the reason I got them, not because I thought they were better. But I've learned to like them. Like I said, there's pros and cons of both. Obviously, the Craigco is the most popular in the United States, and the Craigco style.
Yeah.
I think Pyro Llamas here in the U.S. is not as popular because it's a Spanish company, comes from Spain.
Yeah.
So they're probably more popular in, say, Europe and other places. But yeah,
Yeah. So, I mean, if you had to go back, sure, you got a good deal on these, right? So that's obviously a pretty good reason to go with them. If you had to go back, would you go with the Pyro Llamas, or would you have dove into another rack right off the bat?
well, here's the thing. Even though I own Pyro Llamas, I only use them for my show. So that
Right.
means I only use them once a year.
Correct.
You know, I help with tons of shows throughout the year, and almost every single show I help with, it's all Craigco.
Right.
Uh,
yeah.
And I think I would still use Pyro Llamas
Okay.
for my personal shows.
Is
Yeah.
that attributed to having set angles, or
Well, see,
or is there some other reason?
that's what if we go down the line like pros and cons.
Yeah.
I would say with the Craigco, the number one pro that everyone would probably choose the Craigco is you could set it to whatever angle you want,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
You could get 3.5 degrees, which you'd be pretty anal to use those type of degrees, but people do. And you can set the Craigco all to 1 degree.
Right.
All
Yeah.
45 to the right, all 45 to the left.
Yeah.
People that don't know what a Pyro Llama is, it's an arch.
Yep.
So basically, you get your top of the arch is your straight up, and then it's 15-degree increments. So a 9 arch, you would get your straight up, your 15, 30, 45, and 60 on both sides. So a 15-degree increment, a lot of people would be like, oh, that's too big of a gap. There's no way you could do a show, you're missing your 5 degree, your 10 degrees. If you watch all my shows, I don't think it's hindered me. I'm very comfortable using those increments.
Right. Yeah.
I can do everything that I want with those. And the pro for the Pyro Llama, which I like, is you don't have to measure angles. The angle is exact.
Yep.
It doesn't change. Even on transportation, it doesn't change. It's like the Craigco, when people set angles on those, it's like, a lot of people are like, oh, that's good enough. Lock it down. Oh, that's good enough.
Yeah.
so it may not be exact. And then sometimes you crank it, lock it, and then transportation or whatever, it gets knocked around. The angles can change. Sometimes as tight as you tied it down. And no one would know that the angles have changed.
Right.
Unless, what are you going to do? Measure them all out and see? There's no way you would know. And the Credco, it's how you pin the single shot up against the wall. It's like, if it's not flush, the angle's not exact.
Right.
I've helped enough people to see that sometimes using the pool noodles or, even the Credco foam wedges, they have certain sizes for each one. And sometimes all you have left are the 40 wedges, and people are sticking 30s in those. And so they're loose, they're cockeyed, so they're not the exact angle that you want them to be unless you pin it to the wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
So
absolutely,
it's very important that you pin it to the wall. And I've seen it so many times. It's like, so.
Do you pin him to the wall, or do you pin him in the corner?
Oh, well, the corner.
Okay.
But still, it has to be flush. And then like the knockoffs, your Chinese ones with the tab.
Yeah.
I've told you, like, if you use like a 30 millimeter, like a smaller diameter, it'll hold it in place, but there's so much extra room, it's easy to knock it loose.
It is. Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, now it's cockeyed.
Yeah.
With the Pyro Llama, I don't have to worry at all. I mean, you can bump into it, it's not moving. It's solid. And like I said, it's a perfect angle. It's not going to be off at all.
Yeah.
So, and here's another thing. One of the other biggest cons I hear from people is the price. Mm-hmm. The price of a Pyro Llama rack, it's expensive. But you have to compare it to two Credcos, because one Pyro Llama easily holds double what one Credco will hold. I mean, because normally and this is another thing, using Pyro Llamas, I try to stay away from 50 millimeter shots.
Yeah.
Because the way a Pyro Llama works, they fit to fill a row.
Yeah.
So if you use 50 millimeters, that takes up more room. You're not going to hold as many shots. Where the advantage to the Credco is one of those square holders. It doesn't matter what size you use. It's one per holder. Yeah. So that's kind of an advantage to the Credco. But if you stick to 30s and 40s, like I do, you can usually fit 8 to 9 on one Pyro Llama row. Mm-hmm. So you got to think, if you fill the whole Pyro Llama, like there's 9 rows, and you can do 8 or 9, that's 81 or something shots. But here's the thing. Even though that's the max fill, scripting it's hard to maximize it. Because if you're just organically scripting and not paying attention to, this is how many angles I'll have on this row or blah, blah, blah. And maybe Finale is good at keeping track of that. I don't know. I don't use that. But I usually just script organically. I don't pay attention to what angles I have available left. But I still, usually I can fill it, like 50 or so just organically.
Yeah.
But I've easily had I think 70 or 80 on there.
Wow.
And I do 11 arches now, because 76 used to sell the 11 arch, which would give you the 75s, which I ended up making my own arch ribs, supports. So now I do have the 11 arch, which gives you the 75 degrees.
Right, yep.
So, and here's another thing, some products like Ricasa or Vulcan, if you get the no debris 30 millimeters, that comes with the Pyro Llama base, you can fit 11 of those on a row.
Correct.
So say you have an 11 arch and you put 11 of them on each row. That's 121 single shots you can put on one rack.
Wow.
Yeah. So it holds a lot.
So now the ones without the base, how are you securing them to your pyro llamas?
Well, see, that's the bad part is 76 does make the 76 holder, which is a plastic circle.
Yeah.
But that's limited to basically their 40 and 50 millimeter shots. And it's, that they're the only product that has that, or Vulcan. And so I mainly use the X holders. And that's the biggest con is people say, well, I don't want to do the zip ties. That's a pain in the butt. And it is. But the way I do my single shots, it's like I'll do them ahead of time. I'll do like one rack a day, which I can do a rack in less than an hour. It's like, it's not that bad for me to zip tie them, even if it's well over 1,000 single shots, because I'm only doing a rack a night or something.
Yeah.
Now, if I were to do that all in one day, you're like, oh, we're going to make this setup day and we're going to load up all them pyro llamas in one day. Oh, that'd be torture.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is teardown is horrible, because PGI last year, the day after the show, I was out there, took me hours cutting all the zip ties. I did it myself, but I had like 17 or 18 pyro llamas.
Wow.
And I was out there cutting zip ties, making a huge pile of single shots. Where the Craigco, you just pull the shots out.
Yeah.
I mean, you can empty that out in less than a minute.
Yeah.
But here's the one thing, a lot of those shows you will see, like at PGI, when people are doing that, there's like foam everywhere. Everywhere on the field. I mean, there was one PGI when it was in Wisconsin. I remember I was cleaning up the Casabella show, and one of the other shows had already gone through and picked up their stuff. There were those Craigco foam wedges just everywhere from them. They just left them there. And I was like, those are the expensive foam. I got a bag and I started collecting them all.
Yeah.
And gave them to Tim.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's the one thing. If you're sloppy at teardown, it's going to leave a big mess on the field.
Yep.
That way it might be better to take the Craigcos with the single shots away from the field. Because otherwise you're going to piss people off. Like, someone has to pick all that foam up, eventually.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Because it's not going to deteriorate.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you guys know any pros and cons that you can think of that?
I despise zip ties, so yeah.
I despise zip
Yeah,
ties.
and
I
like
think
I
the con.
said,
We're literally
it's a-
chatting.
My little fingers just can't take it.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's another
That's
thing.
what we'll put Ellery on for prep day.
For prep days.
The pyro llamas are nice to stack when you're put it in your trailer, because I take the arches off,
Yeah.
and then you can stack them. Where the Craigcos, sometimes it sucks to stack them. You have to be careful because they can get stuck to each other.
Yep, they're locked together.
Unless you put,
Yes, you have to turn them.
unless you put like cardboard in between or something.
Yeah.
So that's just anyone that uses pyro llamas. That's what I would do if you're packing your trailer, is take the arch off, because then everything
It
lays,
just lays
flat.
right?
Yeah, it's real nice.
Yeah. The storage aspect of pyro llamas is super nice because you can pack a lot of them into a small space and they don't take up a lot of room. Where you got 20 Craigco racks stacked up, that takes up a lot of space.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else is
I mean,
Do
what other?
you do any staking of single shots? Do you like
Yeah.
stake them, or you just use racks?
Did you say steak?
Yeah. Do you stake your single shots?
I've done sometimes helping somebody, like I've helped Casabella, and sometimes we run out of single shot racks or whatever, and he has a handful that he needs me to stake.
Yeah.
And what I've learned was that if you're staking something up and down, it's pretty stable. But once you start putting an angle on it, Not very stable.
Right.
It's like, especially sometimes Tim is like, yeah, I want as sharp an angle as you can get on this. And I'm here trying to get it and it just keeps falling. Or I'm like, dude, this is no good. Yeah. Oh, and here's another thing, the trough racks. It's like, that's a negative for the Pyrolama is, each angle you're only limited to like 8 or 9 shots on it, right?
Yeah.
So what I do to supplement is if I have a lot of one angle, which is usually my straight ups and 45s,
Yep.
I usually put a lot of those in the trough racks.
Yep.
So that way, because otherwise, you're not going to have enough room on your Pyrolamas. So I always have a combination of Pyrolamas and trough racks.
For sure.
Yeah, the trough racks are nice, but they can be heavy. But they're easy. You just cram everything in there. And again, there's really no measuring angles other than when you're ready to sideboard.
Yeah, just drop in.
Trough.
Just
Yeah,
drop
it's
that
actually
trough, screw end
It's
boards,
pretty
and done.
quick. That's what I like the trough racks because they're quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the bad thing is they're heavy.
Yeah. Most definitely.
And obviously the Pyrolama and Craigco are both metal, so the edges can be sharp. And with some of the Craigcos, you have to be careful not to pinch the wire between the wall and the tube, the motor tubes, because I've seen people do that and pinch a wire, and sometimes it cuts them. Or you can cut your fingers. I don't know how the Craigcos are compared to the Chinese ones. The Chinese ones are probably the sharper ones. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I would say typically the Chinese ones do come in sharper. I know Craigco, they usually, take that extra step in making sure that the edges are not sharp to hurt everybody that's buying them. So
Yeah.
And
Smooth them off.
I know the Pyrolamas, sometimes I run the cables like under the arch while it's on the set while I'm setting it up, and sometimes the edge will scratch my forearms, so I always end up with scratches on my forearms after shows.
Yeah.
And another thing I thought of was it's really rare, but the last Cobra Con, we actually saw a Craigco that was melted.
Correct.
Do you remember that?
I do
The
remember
aluminum actually melted. So, and it reminds me because PGI Brainerd, my show, 2 Pyrolamas caught on fire, and there was nothing I could do. They were on fire, so I had to just let them burn. And you want to know how hot they were? They were glowing blue.
Wow.
That's how hot they were.
Wow.
So the next day I recovered them. They're covered in melted plastic, and I don't know if these are reusable. So I took them home. I used a heat gun to get all the plastic off them, but guess what? They work.
Really?
The product still slides on them even after glowing blue. Yet it didn't warp or bend any of the plates. Because they're so much thicker than the Craigco is.
Yeah.
Like the Craigco's so thin that it was able to melt. But again, it was such a rare instance. I don't think I've ever seen a Craigco melt like that. So I'm not saying that's a con. That's kind of a fluke thing.
Yeah.
But even me, my Pyrolama, I'm like, I'm surprised it caught on fire. It means one of the single shots somehow caught fire.
Or something,
So maybe there was an ember inside that, it sucked.
Yeah.
So I lost all the plastic holders, all the X holders that were on it. But that's cheap because the most expensive part is the plates, which is, like $26 a plate.
Yeah.
So I saved a lot of money that I didn't lose those.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah. I don't know. Can you guys think of anything?
But I mean, really, what you got? Wooden dugouts, right? You have Pyrolamas, you have Craigcos, you have the Chinese version of a Craigco. Is there any other racking system? 76 has their new one out.
The eye
which
shots.
one,
The eye shot, yeah. Again, those are really nice, but I sure. I mean, you think about it, it's like they're great for sporting events, like
Yeah.
NFL, right? You can keep them on the roof, and you just keep the angles. You just reload them. They're good to go game after game. But again, that in my opinion, that's such a small market. It's going to be really
Yeah.
hard to move those at the price point that they're asking.
Yeah. Well, it's the same as the same as the Pyrolama. The
Yeah.
Pyrolamas can be very easy if you get the product that comes with the Pyrolama
Yeah.
base.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know, the Ricasa stuff or Vulcan. You know, 76 has some no debris stuff.
Yeah.
Like some of their Pro line is the no debris 30 mils, and they have the Pyrolama bases.
Yeah.
Some of their Italian stuff does. And when Casabella used to carry Vulcan, they had a lot of the 30 mil no debris, and it had Pyrolama bases.
Yeah.
And Casabella is hopefully bringing in Vulcan again.
Are they okay? Yeah, good.
But Tim said that may not come in till after the 4th.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, for Pyrolama users, if that's what you want is a product where it comes with the Pyrolama bases, you got to tell your wholesalers that that's what you want, because
Correct.
they're not going to carry it if they can't sell it. Now, if they know there's a demand for it, like if Tim at Casabella knows there's a demand for it, because I think that mainly they want to get them because it's ease of use for their shows.
Yeah.
When they do shows, they can use their Pyrolamas.
Yeah.
But, yeah, as a consumer, if that's what you want,
You have to tell your wholesaler.
you have to tell your wholesaler that that's what you want. I think it's going to cost a little more because it seems like all the ones that come with the Pyrolama bases is always the no debris stuff, which is good for like if you're doing commercial shows like at stadium shows or whatever, and they don't want
Again,
trash.
yeah, like you're saying,
trying
it's
to
such a
minimize
niche
trash.
market.
Yeah. Again,
The
it is.
general pyro doesn't care if it's debris-less.
Yeah.
Your hobbyist doesn't care.
They're obvious,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, a lot of your professional companies, some of them may be Pyrolama users, but they have limited places to get product. So
Correct.
if you want other wholesalers to carry it and maybe have a bigger variety, you just have to let them know
Yep.
that that's what you want. And the more that people say that, then because like I said, they're not going to sell stuff they can't sell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Most definitely.
so speak up.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I
Any
don't know.
other racks, Donnie, you can think of?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that covers. I mean, now you see some like those little metal slice racks, kind of. I know we're
Yeah.
using some of them. I think, and those are but those are very similar to like a mix between a Pyrolama.
Yeah,
It's just like a Pyrolama.
I laugh when I see these huge metal arches, and they it's huge because
Yeah.
it's an arch and it's one slice basically. I'm like, these degrees are the same whether they're all sitting on the ground versus in the shape of an arch. All that shape of the arch is going to do is take up more damn room. It's like Dominator has their 19-shot mine slice, C-slice, which was that, circular shape thing. Well, if you see how they're making it now, all the tubes are on the ground now.
Right.
It's like a long regular slice.
Yeah.
Not that archy thing where the middle shots are all basically in the air. It's like you're wasting space. You're making that awkward box that always gets smashed, right?
Yeah.
On the corners. It's like, so the design is much better. Because I just recently got one of them 19-shot mine slices from Dominator, and I was like, that's much better.
Yeah.
The packaging's way better.
Way better. Yeah. And I'll tell you, even your wholesaler bringing them in appreciates that a lot, because they can actually cut the cost down by a lot. I mean, you got to think that's taken up double the amount of container space And if you can cut that down, that means it cuts it down for you as the consumer.
Yeah, and as far as how we're talking about the angles, being the same, whether it's on that arch or not, it's like back to that video that I did with that tornado that we did.
Yeah.
In that video, I tested the letter G.
Yep.
And the reason I did that, because why would I test it? I've been using my letter rack for years. So what happened? My letter rack used to be shot at an angle,
Then you
but just like the metal racks. And yeah. we had a major failure where I tried to shoot every single shot, which was 169 shots, and it had a lot of kickback and it destroyed my rack. But so I was like, why does it have to be shot that way? An angle's an angle, whether it's on the ground or up in the air. So why not just rest the whole letter rack on the ground?
Yep.
So I knew it would work because, like I said, an angle's an angle. It's like 30 degrees on the ground, 30 degrees a foot high is not going to make a freaking difference. So we shot it, and it shot just perfect. So yeah, that's what's different. My letter rack is shot flat on the ground. It's fully supported.
Yep.
So
Justin.
yeah.
All right.
How long's this been so far? Over an hour?
We're doing all right.
Yeah.
We still got some time.
Yeah.
Got some more questions for you.
Oh my god.
Take a little break. Take a little break here for something different.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was pretty thorough.
Yeah.
I did make a note, like the Craigco sometimes, we use, I don't know if it's a 62 or a 50 that fits tight in your Craigco or Craigco style.
It's the 50s.
50s.
And sometimes when you shoot them, they expand. And then they're hard as hell to pull out.
Yep.
That's a little bit of a negative. I mean, not bad. And then people who don't take care of those racks, they let them sit outside and the screw gets all rusty, and sometimes it, screws it, you try to unloosen it and it's still tight. And
Yeah.
that's because people like David just let them sit out in the rain.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to RKM once and he had a whole stack of Craigcos all just sitting outside. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Got this big warehouse. He could easily put it inside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't even take care of his. I guess when Brian's paying for it, you don't care.
Oh, whatever. They're
Like
mine.
I didn't pay for it.
I own them.
A quick pointer to the Pyro Llama users. Just my experience, I think the best way to set up your Pyro Llamas is you zip tie your two product on the X holders before you put it onto your Pyro Llama.
Oh,
And
so you
then
do it and then you slide it on.
And you tip the Pyro Llama on its side because it's easier to push down and
them down.
slide
Okay.
instead of having it upright.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've learned ways to make it easy. That seems to be the easiest way.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
This is the Pyro Unleashed Cake Review, brought to you by PGI.
All right, cake review by PGI. Huge shout out to PGI for sponsoring this segment of the podcast. Since its founding in 1969, the PGI has been dedicated to helping you do whatever you love and want to do in fireworks, legally and safely. Whether that's enjoying consumer fireworks with family and friends, becoming a firework display operator, learning how fireworks are made, photographing firework displays, collecting pyro memorabilia, all of these are things and everything in between. You can do them at PGI by becoming a member. And all of the members, really, we all share the same passions, right? This year, PGI is going to be holding their annual convention at Boone, Iowa from August 2nd through the 9th. And I know I'll be there. Ellery, you'll be there, and I don't. Donnie, you're not. I mean, I think
Yeah,
I've
unfortunately,
taken that away
I
from
won't
you
be there.
from
I won't be there this
CobraCon,
year.
right? Yeah.
No, we got another big vacation planned this spring, and so
Okay.
that's using vacation time for family stuff.
Yeah.
This is the thing. When we looked at the Google Maps on Brainerd and we thought it was wide open, looking at the Google Maps of Boone, it really does look
It's
wide
really
open.
actually. Yeah, so I was
Yeah.
just on the phone, I think with Craig yesterday, and the field, he said, so I believe they're going to limit it to 700 feet to have roads on either side.
Yeah.
But people could put product all the way out to 800 feet and drop it down to like 80 degrees. He's like, as long as it goes over the bean field, we don't care. So you can really do some pretty extreme angles if you're doing
Yeah,
a show
I
this
think
year.
I'm doing the same. About 500 feet is.
Yep.
I'm doing 11 positions 50 feet apart.
Yeah.
With 75-degree angles on the outsides.
Okay.
That's similar to what I did at Brainerd. So
Yeah. Very good.
All right, we have a product here from Shogun. It's called Supersize Masterclass Assortment. This one here is 16 shots, so we'll give it a play here and see what we got here.
Yeah.
all
38 seconds.
Yeah,
single,
it's not too bad, yeah.
all single effect.
Yeah, that's nice.
The way we like it.
Yep.
Yeah. I hadn't watched that, so I just happened to found
Hey.
it. It looked good. I thought,
Yeah.
we're gonna run with this and see what this looks like today.
Yeah.
Because
really
because you pulled up that video, does that mean you could find that video of that 3D house and pull it up? I mean, you would be able to, wouldn't you?
I'm just gonna go to Ellery Sim and we'll just pull that up.
Ellery Sim.
We'll go to Ellery Sim and see what it looks like.
I ain't letting people know how to do that.
So I guess I don't know. What do you think? I mean, overall, yeah. Again, like Ellery said, being able to have all the same effect in one cake, really nice.
Yeah.
Didn't necessarily have like a crackle finale, so that's always a plus. Every shot really, I guess, had crackle, but it wasn't overwhelming.
It was a very quick crackle.
Is it a crackle or is that lace?
Yeah. No, it's a very quick crackle.
Okay.
Very, very quick crackle, yeah.
Maybe you couldn't hear it because it's like a photo flash crackle. It's like you could
Yeah.
see it, but you couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's actually pretty cool. Yeah, actually cool. I actually kind of like that cake. So,
Yeah,
mean,
I do.
the single effect like that, you could break them apart. You could shoot in different sections. You could a lot of uses for that type of cake. I mean, for me, that's probably a good solid 8 on a cake like that.
Yeah, solid 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go with like a 7-ish, 7.5. Yeah. What do you think, Ellery? Out of a 10?
Oh, same thing, 7.
7, yeah.
Now we drug Ellery through the segment he hates the most.
Yeah. See.
But now we have some Discord questions.
Yeah. Well, do you want to get through? I'll get a couple other questions here.
You want to do a couple
Yeah,
questions?
I'm gonna
before
hit
you-
these before.
Leave the fifth type questions.
What are you in any clubs? Any pyro clubs, Ellery? I mean, I
Me?
know the answer to this, but
Heartland Pyro.
Heartland Pyro, HPA.
And then our secret Pyro Club. Like
What
Fight
happens in
Club.
Pyro Club stays in Pyro Club.
Oh yeah, I'm not supposed to say anything. It's very highly exclusive.
Highly exclusive.
And we're gonna have a Pyro Club event in the spring, but again, it's secretive. Oh, I shouldn't have told you that.
A member of one? Is that just one member of that club?
We'll go with that.
Huh?
We'll go with that.
We had a good few
No, there was
people
solid,
there.
what, 12, 15 people there?
Maybe 10 or 12 people. You got to be in the club. Donnie's not in the club.
Donnie's not in the club. Oh, that's messed up.
He's too far. He's too far away.
So, do you like doing inspirational and story type shows? Like, do you like doing that, or do you feel like, I know we had this conversation already.
He's saying that because I told him. I was like, there's a lot of expression. I don't want to call certain people out, but there's some people that they get way too darn emotional about these damn fireworks shows. It's like, and they'll talk about my show and be like, "Oh, that was so emotional," and you're like, "Dude, I'm scripting a damn fireworks show." It's like, to me, it's just fireworks. It's like, if you're getting all emotional over my show, that's on you. I mean, I didn't plan it. I'm not scripting to try to draw emotions. It's like, I just don't get that deep. It's like, to me, it's just fireworks. And if people want to make, criticisms or assumptions of stuff, it's like, I wasn't trying to do that. It's like, just
now when you do script, though, do you script all your shows with like a theme, or you just toss stuff together and hope it works out?
I very rarely do themes. It's like I just do a show.
So really, you're just matching effects to like a tempo and.
I basically just hit. I like to hit every beat. Doesn't mean I use every beat. I mean,
right.
I've told people before the way I script is I just script blank hits of every possible hit. Yeah. And then I go back and decide, am I going to use all those or not?
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, and, I'll do, if there's quiet sections, obviously I'll do more softer fireworks, but I'm not trying to draw emotion or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's like, and I'll choose 2 different songs that have no relation. It's like, I don't care.
It's just like, whatever you're feeling.
To me, as long as you put on a good show, it goes well with the music. It's like 99% of people's not going to say, "Oh, that sucked because those 2 songs didn't really relate to each other." Oh, it's like, as long as both shows are good, both shows to each song was good, it's like they're gonna like it.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's like that Cobra Con show. People said that was emotional or whatever. It's like when I was scripting that, I wasn't thinking that. Like I said, if you get all emotional on that, watching my show, dude, that's on you.
All right, let's get to these Discord questions.
Discord question?
I'll let you start.
Yeah, the first one here comes from Mr. Travis Kramer. He wants to know, what is this show that you've done that got a far better reaction than you thought it would get?
I know the answer.
Well, no, you probably don't.
No? All right.
There's this show I posted. It was for my nephew's graduation party. It was a Miley Cyrus song. God, I forget. It was her It was back in her Hannah Montana days. It was a graduation song. And I did that. I used very little product, but it went so well with the music. And because it was for my nephew's high school graduation, the song seemed perfect. If you go on YouTube and type up Tong Po Pyro graduation pyro musical or something, you'll probably find it. But that's one show I wasn't expecting it to be that good, but I liked that one.
Yeah.
It was very simple. Like I said, a lot of the simple shows that I've done, I think, turned out to be good. Like the Cobra Con show was fairly simple.
Yeah.
Like when you look how it was scripted, there was nothing complicated about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
But yeah, I didn't want to be, I don't know what you say. You guys were probably like, oh, he's probably going to see that stupid Cobra Con show.
That's what I was thinking.
I know. I'm sick of that damn show. Don't want to hear about it anymore.
All right.
All right. And then second question from Discord. This is from Fire Tech Curtis. He wants to know, what's the biggest obstacle you had to overcome as a pyro?
Biggest obstacle. See, that's why you need to give these questions ahead of time. I don't know. Obstacles?
What was something you had to overcome? Like, that's...
I don't know. Overcome?
Yeah.
Well, I don't. To me, the most helpful was, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Sorry,
I don't know.
Curtis. No answer.
No answer,
Something to
Chris.
overcome.
You don't have to answer.
Yeah.
don't
Ellery's
know.
just a prodigy, right? I mean, he just hit
did
the
I
ground
have to
running and just
overcome?
he just bulldozed over everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a horrible show that I didn't overcome because I don't know the cause of it really. I don't know. You want to hear about that one?
Sure.
Sure, why not? Go for it.
Yeah, there was the guy I was helping with that had a display company. I guess we had 2 shows that night. I didn't ever want to lead a show, but he had me lead a show. And all our stuff was in the middle of a cornfield. And so I was sitting on outside of the cornfield. And when I started the show, only half the mods were going. It's like half the stuff didn't go off. And so I was running through the cornfield with my remote sticking up in the air, thinking I wasn't getting good reception. I went all the way to the mods and they still weren't working. It was the most embarrassing thing ever. And what I think happened was we set up a repeater mod up on a, I don't know, water sprinkler that they use to water the crops. So we had it up high there, and I think it was an A mod, and it just messed up the whole communication with all my 36s and 72s.
Interesting.
Because it was weird, my 36s, like, some banks on the 36s were going off, but the other bank wasn't. So you would think, oh, he had it, the channels wrong on mischanneled. Wrong. When the show was over, I restarted the show to see if I could restart it and see if it would shoot. It started shooting the other channel. I was like, how the heck does one channel not go? It wasn't mischanneled.
Yeah.
It was like they just weren't going off, and I think it was freaking AMOD. That's what I don't know if I should say it, but I just recommend people not to use AMODs.
Well, if you're using all A mods, use A mods.
I mean, they have their place. They have their place, right, in the
Right.
show, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, one of the things you've used, David, right, at PGI, you use A mods on your 1.3 stuff.
We did.
Yeah.
I'd just be scared mixing it with, if you're doing big pyro musicals with all your 72s and 36s and high firmwares. It's like,
Yeah. You know,
I
we
would
did
be
the A's.
very nervous.
We did the A's simply we had to use them for one. And I guess the reason we did it is obviously you want your single shots to be more precise, right? So, shells are obviously already going to have some time variation in their break. So we're like, if we can, if it adds another, 10th of a second,
Yeah,
it's not a
right.
big deal. Whereas if it's frontage, you're 100% going to see that 10th of a second. So,
Well, so for that show, yeah, it was hard to overcome the embarrassment of that show.
yeah, I get that.
It was because we had to collect the other half of the to get paid. Because
Yeah.
the guy paid the deposit, and after the show, he's supposed to give us the rest. And it was so embarrassing. We didn't even want to go up there because we were like, this guy's going to be so pissed. Well, he still gave us the money, and it was
Yeah.
like, Oh, and another thing, back to the single shot thing, because it reminded me. Back when you and me did NFA, and we had all the single shot racks that we needed to angle, I told David, dude, we don't got time to angle all these. Let's just eyeball all the angles. Coach Timmy was watching me do it, and how fast I was doing. He was like, what are you doing? It's like, how are you setting those angles so quick? I was like, oh, we're just eyeballing them because I don't think we have time to... Because we were afraid we weren't going to get the show put together before showtime.
Yeah.
So, but what was funny, afterwards, Coach Timmy came to us and was like, dude, your angles look freaking good for freaking eyeballing everything. It's like, so do you really have to be so accurate with angles? It's like, not really. It's like we eyeballed freaking everything. All the Craig codes were just eyeballed.
They were, yeah, for the most part, they were all just yeah. So.
But we've done it comfortably enough that you know, if you're experienced enough, you know, and you know where a 45 is. It's halfway from straight up and 90. So you got your 3 straight up, 45, and 90 that you can base your angles off of those.
Yeah.
So it's not that hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Pyro News, brought to you by Dominator Fireworks.
Pyro News, sponsored by Dominator Fireworks. Dominator brand fireworks is one of the China's fastest growing firework brands. Dominator Fireworks covers all categories of fireworks, including consumer fireworks and professional display pyrotechnics. In addition to Dominator brand products, they produce many private label products for their customers. Dominator can custom manufacture or procure any product to your exact packaging and product specifications, or they can recommend products to suit your market needs. So big shout out to Ed and Matt and the team at Dominator for supporting us and continue to believe in what we do. And yeah, they'll be guests later this season, so something to look forward to. So Pyro News. So I'm just going to pop up this story I found a little bit ago.
Yeah.
I actually was just searching. This was something that actually happened here just in the last couple of days. A cargo container packed with fireworks engulfed in flames. It's a container of fireworks that was on the rail, on the train, en route somewhere. This happened in Welton, Arizona. The fire department responded to a report of a train fire Monday morning. So this would have been on January 20th.
Yeah.
In a press release, the incident happened before 9:30 a.m. Fire crews arrived. They discovered a far more dangerous situation than initially described. A cargo container was engulfed in flames after highly explosive fireworks ignited in the container, filling the air with intense, colorful explosions and sparks.
Yeah, because half of it got stolen, and then the people are like, okay, let's light up the rest. Yeah, guaranteed.
I mean, how fireworks don't light themselves, obviously,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah, they can't take the whole container with them, so they took what they could and then just lit up the rest. Yeah, they threw a match in there, guaranteed.
Yep.
So
You
I'm
sent
sure
me
there'll be
that-
some investigation in that. So
You sent me that, and I looked at that picture, and I was like, "Ooh, that's bad."
yeah, it was so 2 containers were stacked. It was one on the bottom, and so the top one had like a bunch of like plastic bumpers in it that also caught fire. So they ended up having to put that fire out and then pull the containers off the rail to kind of get the fires completely extinguished. But yeah, I was like,
crazy.
holy, that's wow, that's but yeah, somebody started that fire.
Somebody started that. Did you get to watch any of the New Year's shows from across the world?
Not really. No, I didn't really pay attention to really a lot of those. I don't know. I just
You
I,
ain't
mean,
gonna
I
talk
know there was a lot of fireworks stuff that happened like in Hawaii. A lot of people got hurt and stuff out there from fireworks, and I know some of that stuff happened. But yeah, I just haven't get a chance to really watch a lot of the New Year's fireworks shows.
Yeah.
You ain't
I
gonna
really
talk
haven't.
about the Trump fireworks show? The Trump
We can
show?
talk about
Fireworks?
that.
I mean, I didn't really see much of it.
I didn't see a lot of it.
I saw parts of it, and it didn't really interest me, so I was like,
It was a
okay.
lot of repetition.
It
I
seemed
know-
more like a quantity versus
Quality.
A-
I mean, there was
a
quality,
good-
right?
Well, not quality, but a good scripted pyro musical.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they could have used less product and do a more like better pyro musical.
I think a lot of it too is ease of setup for that location, because you got to think, like, in reality you're bringing display fireworks into one of the most highly secured and guarded areas in America. Like, that's
But
So-
then also 99% of the spectators are not pyros, and
Right.
to them,
Yeah. Yeah.
quantity means everything.
Correct, yeah.
Oh.
And that was a collaboration with Pyrotechnico, TNT, and
Phantom?
Blank Phantom. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
You know it's got to be good when TNT and Phantom are in.
We're just gonna leave that one right there.
Nothing but the best.
All right. Do we want to?
Yeah,
Do
let's
you want
get-
to hit the Pyro Unleash Final Five?
Yeah, let's hit the
Oh.
final. I like that. The final five.
I plead
That's the Final Five.
I plead the fifth.
So I'll kind of give a little background on this. So
Yeah.
our plan is every episode of the season we're going to ask these same final questions to each guest.
Yep.
And then probably at the end of the season, I'll probably put together a little montage, a little compilation. Then we'll kind of we'll show them all like all together,
Yeah,
do a
that
little
sounds
fun
like
thing with them at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But the goal is just the first thing that kind of pops to your mind. So that'd be serious, just whatever comes to your mind that you think fits it. And most of these are fireworks related.
Most of them.
So yeah, so we'll kind of keep it
You
easy.
know me, nothing's gonna come to my mind.
Oh, whatever.
I'm sure it probably will. All right, Ellery, first question. Favorite consumer firework?
Consumer?
Yep.
Consumer.
I would say those there's different brands. Those Crackle Barrels or
Yep.
what's the name? Dominators. The one you guys carry.
I think they're called Crackle Barrels, aren't they?
No, they're not. That's
No.
world class. Is it Crackling Crawfish or no?
No.
Because if people don't remember, 2 demos ago,
Yep.
I did a whole case of those at the RKM demo.
Crazy Cracklers.
Crazy Crackers.
Whole case of
Cracklers. And if Tim can get them in stock before their demo, I'm hoping to do the same thing at their demo. So if you want to see a whole case of those go off, go to the Casabella demo.
There we go.
I'm gonna. When I was at Casabella. I don't know when was that, David. We all went. I was asking Tim.
December?
Yeah, I
Beginning
was
of
gonna.
December?
I was gonna pick up a case of those, but they didn't have them in stock because I wanted
Yeah.
to make sure. Because I know the store owners want to buy those up. I mean, you get store owners when they see those, the cases fly off the shelves. So it's like
High
you gotta
profit margin
snag
on
them.
those.
But yeah, a case of those are freaking divided up into 6 positions. Dude, it's
Lot
freaking
of fun.
nice. Loud.
All right, question 2.
Yep.
If you had to choose only one for the rest of your life, would it be 1.4 or 1.3 product?
Are you a moron? Of course 1.4.
Got it.
1.4 is your meteors, mines, and comets. What do I use? That's the bread and butter of the pyro musical. Come on, you don't need 1.3. Yeah. Yeah.
Best answer we're going to get all season, probably.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
question
the
3.
Dumbest question in the world.
Question 3. If you could start your fireworks career over again, anything you might do differently?
Do differently?
Yep.
I think it's gone the way I wanted so far, so I wish I would have started it earlier.
There we go.
Yep.
Perfect.
It's because like I remember going to PGI in LaPorte, and I remember passing by the Class C tent, and I remember seeing this big Asian dude at the vending there. He was freaking James. I didn't know who he was. I didn't talk to him, but I was like, "Hey, what's that big sumo wrestler doing over there?" It's like, No, I wish I would have known him then. It's like we could have hanged out at LaPorte, PGI.
Yeah.
I was like, I wish I knew him sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I would have gotten into it earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, number 4. What's your favorite thing about working in this industry?
What's the favorite thing?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about the fireworks industry?
Oh, just working with all the guys I know.
Yeah.
I love. See, a lot of people don't like working on shows. I love the hard work. It's like setting up shows with RKM and Casabella. It's like, yeah, I love it. Every bit part of it. I mean, even July 4th when it's like 3 days in a row and you're sore as heck at the end. It's like, I used to run marathons and half marathons and stuff. It's like, and it was fun. It was painful. People would ask you, why would you do that? I was like, well, sometimes pain is fun. It's like, yeah, I love working, getting painful after 3. It's just fun. Yeah, I love every bit part of it.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it's like, yeah, a lot of these guys live, away from me. So it's fun to have shows and see them again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the best part.
Most definitely.
All right, this last one's going to challenge you a little bit, so it's going to be fun. If you were a flavor of ice cream, what flavor would you be?
Geez, I think my favorite ice cream is just any type of sherbet. It sounds like it's like that, like old people eat. I like sherbet.
Okay.
All right. There we go.
And actually, I went on a cruise once when I was a kid, and they had champagne sherbet.
Oh.
First time I've ever seen it, but man, that was some good stuff. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. Next week.
Well, next week, yeah.
Oh, that wasn't bad. 5
Yeah,
questions.
Yes, that was easy.
Good.
Yeah,
See,
that
it wasn't
wasn't
bad. That was the
Okay.
final 5.
Okay.
Next week we're looking at Tim Jameson.
Tim Jameson, yeah.
Yeah, should be
Talk about Pyro Jam.
Pyro Jam and whatever else. See if we can
Yeah.
get some more inspiration from
Yeah.
the man, the myth, the legend.
I mean, and just kind of talk a little bit about Pyro Jam. Obviously, the
Yeah.
competition is open right now to submit your
It
shows,
is.
the Finale 3D competition. So, got that Pyro Jam with the pyrojamusa.com, I think is what it is, or something. Go out there and, or even over Finale 3D's website, finale3d.com, and they'll get all the information on how to get your free Finale license to be able to script a show and submit it, all the rules and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, and we'll touch on all that next week for sure.
yeah, absolutely.
Want to chat about it? I don't know.
We can mention. I mean, we got lined up for episode 3. If you're in the world of pyro, and you've probably seen this guy around, Neil Butcher.
Yep.
So he's gonna come on and talk about his basically his life in pyro and and then his time
Neil,
where
the camera guy.
Yeah, he does
Yeah.
video recording and
He takes some of the best videos.
yeah.
Yeah. All he uses is phones and his
Yeah,
phones.
he does. Yeah.
Yeah, I love his videos. I think
they're good.
he
They're
takes
really,
some of the
really good.
best videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll dive in with Neil a little bit about that and his career, and then what he's doing over at Finale, and that's going to kind of bridge a little bit into our the collab that we're going to be working on. So
Yeah, most definitely will.
Yeah, he seems like a good dude.
He is really, really good.
Cause he's at a lot of the events.
Yeah.
Especially now that he's helping Finale, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
You see him at PGI a lot, it's like that, and stuff. Yeah, so he's
Yeah,
around all
he's
the
usually
events.
out there. He likes the video stuff and
Yeah.
so good dude.
Very good. Well,
Oh, and he's from Iowa, right?
He is, yeah.
He is from
yeah.
Iowa.
Yeah.
PGI's in his back door.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, so he'll definitely be there.
See if we can pressure him to do a show, compete
Pressure
against
and
Ellery.
pressure,
Hey, the more the merrier. Like I said, I don't care
Agreed.
about winning. It's nice
Exactly.
to win, but I don't care about winning. Bring it on.
Yes,
The more the
sir.
merrier.
As always, feel free to go to pyrounleashedpodcast.com. Check out what we got going on over there. buy some merch from our website.
Get loaded up on merch, yeah.
Before all the events, and should be doing a giveaway here pretty soon here in Discord, I would say.
Start season 3 off here, yeah. We'll
Yeah,
get something
start
going
off
here,
with a bang.
Yeah.
And then again, if you're not in Discord, where you at?
Where you at? Yeah.
Where you at?
Even Ellery hops in there
Even
sometimes.
Ellery
so.
sometimes.
Well, I don't know how to work it.
You work it just fine.
Takes a few minutes to unmute himself, but he gets it figured out.
Yeah. I was like, why is no one saying anything? I didn't know where to go to hear people. I didn't know. I didn't know how to view when someone's showing something. I was like, what are you guys looking at?
But yeah.
But again, yeah, well, I just want to thank Ellery for coming on tonight and
Most
chatting about this.
definitely.
And all the laughs and sound bites that we get out of this is going to be priceless, and it's going to last us a whole season.
Thanks for coming on, Ellery. We appreciate it. We've been trying to get you on for almost
Since
a year.
season 1.
It's
Since season 1, yeah.
been
Yeah,
almost a year.
because it was because my internet's crappy.
So
we tried it.
We had to sacrifice the video for the audio tonight.
Nah, it's not because of that. Like I said, I like to stay as anonymous as possible.
Maybe we'll mute his voice like a.
I don't like my face and all my business.
Distort his
there
voice,
for
give him a
every-
voice
there for
changer.
everyone
Yeah.
to see.
A voice changer when we do post production.
Yeah. Should get Ellery to say something like I don't know, something about needing $1 million or something. That's fine.
But on that note, guys, we will catch you all guys next week. And
Yes,
again,
sir.
go out
Yeah.
there and unleash your inner pyro with us.
This has been another episode of Pyro Unleashed. Come back each week for more industry insights, technical tips, and awesome pyro designs. Have fun out there, be safe, and as always, remember to unleash your inner pyro with us.